Every time I hear about a horror movie where nature is the antagonist, my little brain instantly cues up a picture of Mark Wahlberg staring at someone with that "what the flub is happening" look on his face. Fittingly, that movie was named The Happening. 13 years later, we're still asking, what the hell happened in that movie? This holds true with most urban legend, cryptid, creepypasta films that are being retold on the big screen today. Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Confessional. This is Dave from Nerdbox, and I am accompanied by my wife Jenn, also from Nerdbox. And on this episode, we are talking about Antlers. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
Julia Meadows has moved back to Oregon to be with her brother after their father passed away. She's a sixth grade teacher and has noticed that one of her students, Lucas, is showing all the signs of abuse. As she begins to investigate, deformed carcasses of people begin to show up and seem to point back to Lucas's father as the suspect. When Julia confronts Lucas on the situation, he tells her that he has to feed his father flesh in order to see his brother again.
Now, before we dive into this review, you know what to do. Leave us your rating and review of this movie in the comments. Also, let us know what you think about movies that involve nature and urban legends. Are there any good ones out there? It's kind of tough to find one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've seen the Wendigo story beaten to death millions of times now.
Yeah.
So just let us know by dropping those in the comments and leaving us a like. Now, Antlers is, right off the bat, I'm going to say it, when it was coming out pre-pandemic or right at the start of it, I didn't want to see it then.
No.
Is this one of those films that I'm going to say, like, oh, I didn't want to see it, and now I really like it?
No.
Not really. No. No. This movie has some things that are distracting in it, and it is the story of abuse, I think, that plays out in here. The kid was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Russell was a little distracting, but I think she did all the right things in this film here. You know, we have an incident that happens that sets this beast loose on the small town. It's kind of like a werewolf type of deal, if you want to think about it. And then you have the sub-story of the kid that's going to school. He's disconnected from everybody else. He's really dirty looking. He's really, really skinny. Hopefully, didn't make him lose weight for this film. He was really skinny.
I'm thinking it was probably CGI.
I hope so.
He's only like 12 or 13. I can't imagine that they made him lose weight. I think that would be illegal because he was like sickly skinny. Like you would see Christian Bale when he drops 50 pounds for a role.
Yeah, this is Hollywood. They do a lot of illegal things. So we're not going to go down that path. And then you have Carrie Russell, that's the teacher, and she's trying to start her own life over again, and there's a sub-story with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she picks up on the signs, having been through abuse herself as a kid, and then she starts down this path of, oh, let me be the nosy teacher and investigate, make sure that my student is fine, which I think it only happens in movies. I've never seen a teacher really give that many fucks about a kid that may be getting abused where they're going to their house. And
yeah, even though teachers are mandated by law to report anything suspicious, I think most of them don't.
Mm-hmm. I agree. There wasn't that much of a horror element. It was there, but it was just vanilla for me.
I think it's hard to pick up on the horror element unless it applies to you. So one thing that was said by Jesse Plemons, who was his same like monotone but funny self. I love the way he delivers.
But he didn't seem that
he didn't seem like he was into it, really. But he's the sheriff now of this small town, and the person who is the retired sheriff is indigenous. And the one thing that, Jesse Plemons says, like, you're talking about a fairy tale. And, the previous sheriff says, well, to you, it's a fairy tale, but to the indigenous people, it's very much real and alive. So to them, this is a true horror to have happen to them. It's something that they firmly believe, whereas to us, it really is just a fairy tale, folklore. It's just a story. It's not a very good story, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's Native American or not, but he was the former sheriff.
He was, yeah, he's Native
in the
American.
movie. Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Because I think I only see him in films where he's talking about this lore about his culture, and now it's like, oh, you did it now.
Yeah.
Oh, something bad's gonna get you. Yeah. And he's kind of like that messenger all the time, and it's like, oh man, come on. He's a good actor. I like him.
He is. I think he's like their go-to Indian person. Like he just seems to be like their go-to for that sort of role. Green? Yeah, that's his name. And his name doesn't like pop out. Like he wouldn't be like, oh, no. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, if you see his face, you'll know who he is.
Definitely. Yeah, so I was disappointed. And I think you said it best with Plemons, that he just didn't seem like he was into the film. Kerry Russell didn't seem like she was into the film that much either. They just seemed like eyesores in this film. They just seemed like objects in the film.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because, like, they kind of wanted them to seem that way. It's a very dark, depressing town that they live in. It's in Oregon. It's very small. Everyone knows everyone. They all know your business. Trust me when I say that it was depressing to watch because it was always dark and raining and muddy. I don't think it took place over a matter of like weeks, but I don't think the sun came out once.
I'm on the opposite. I actually liked all the scenery in the movie. I was like, oh, what's cool? Oh, man, look at that mountain range. Oh, look at that cool lake.
Well, I like that stuff. I just don't like the doom and gloom. I need sun. It affects me when I don't have sun. So.
Yeah. And then, the monster reveal with the legend behind it was kind of weak. And, no. This is... Man, can we just stop trying to make movies right now about nature and these creatures and stuff like that? Because none of them are working.
No.
In fact, In the Earth is getting better and better the more I see these other crappy, big-budget films that are going after nature and doing a horrible job at it.
Yeah, I would honestly go back and watch In the Earth before I'd watch these other ones.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
What was that big one that came out at the start of the pandemic that everybody's like, oh my god, this is going to be a super scary movie. And they released it just in drive-ins. And it's about the witch in the tree. God awful movie. God awful.
Remember the name of it?
That's how bad it was. God awful. Like -4 stars that would get because it was just so damn bad. Wretched.
It was wretched.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much more we can say about this movie.
Nope. So what do you rate it?
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a D-. I would have given it an F.
It's not F9 bad?
No, I just thought that the kid was really good. So I'm going to give it a D- for his acting. I thought he did a really good job. So I'll give it a D- for him.
Yeah, solid D. Solid D for me. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, go watch it if you want to. Let us know what you think about it, obviously. But
and it was so hyped. And I didn't buy into the hype, so that didn't influence my decision. Mm-mm. It was so hyped. But when I saw the trailer, I was like,
I wasn't even excited to go see it. So, and I mean, I heard that Guillermo del Toro was attached, but it turns out he just produced it. So, I mean, it was just his money that made it. The director was Scott Cooper. Not impressed because, I mean, he's done some other movies that were...
Yeah, he
did Black Mass.
He started with Crazy Heart.
Yeah,
like,
so...
He started on this, trend up, and now it's like Antlers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess everybody's entitled to one that's not so good.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share.
Yes, remember, help us help independent filmmakers and artists by subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos. because then we can promote them on our other shows.
Yes, absolutely. And we try to promote and help them as much as we possibly can.
Yes. And until the next, see
See
ya.
ya.